Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Again, it's certainly grateful to be here, and we certainly appreciate the enthusiasm that we've heard. That usually is a good sign that we want to be where we are, and that we are blessed to be where we are, and that we're connected. And I'm certainly appreciative of that. And we thank you all this morning. We all have a chance, which we all woke up this morning by grace and mercy, and we're certainly grateful for that. So I am at this time calling the meeting to order. Our council meeting, and at this time I'd like to call on Pastor Steve Pace to lead us with the invocation, if we can stand, and after that remain standing. All today will lead us with the pledge. Pastor.
Good morning, council and friends and staff. Let us pray. Dear Lord, our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth. And we pray that as we come humbly this morning, we recognize the blessing of our life, of our ability, of our opportunity to serve in every day. Lord, may in this day you give us a clean and fresh awareness of our giftedness to serve and the way you would apply us and who we are and what we can do to make a difference in our world and our community and some individual's life as we go about our way. Bless us with a grateful heart that we are simply able to be and do. Bless us with the humility of a servant's heart to look to how we can even better serve. Lord, I pray your blessings upon all these who do serve. Thank you for their investment, for their care for our citizens here, and pray that you may actually enable them to see better and know more and accomplish even more as we are such in need of their service. Lord, we thank you for this city and all that's provided for us in this community. For those who make decisions and offer leadership, guide them in vision forward and deeper insight on how we can even be more effective in doing well and doing good. And we pray and honor and serving you. We have seen in the last few hours, indeed, dear Lord, how you sustain us through your grace and mercy. That though the winds may blow and the rains may come, that your righteousness endures forever. And we trust now in you to uphold us, and we seek to follow you as Jesus would walk. And in whose name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Pace, and thank you, Mr. Day. And we will continue to go to our agenda, but I would like to say this for a point of privilege. Again, council, we would like to thank Councilwoman Johnson for today is her birthday. So we would all like to say happy birthday to Councilwoman Johnson. Happy birthday. And also we do have a council person whose spouse's birthday today, so I'm not going to call the name because sometimes you don't cross that line, But also happy birthday to that person too. We're not going to use any name because they may not.
Well, it's not my wife.
No, let's not start the process of elimination. Let's stop it right there. We don't want to use process of elimination. Thank you all, but happy birthday, Mrs. Johnson.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to call upon our clerk for the reading of a proclamation recognizing Public Safety Week as well as Public Safety Sunday and Public Safety Day. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Proclamation. Whereas on September the 11th, 2001, 20 years ago, 4 passenger jets were hijacked and crashed into the Twin Towers, Pentagon, in a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing nearly 3,000 innocent people. And whereas during the week of September the 11th, 2021, our nation and the world will remember the lost lives and families of those who died that day. And whereas on that day, police and firefighters bravely dashed into burning buildings to save the lives of those trapped inside, knowing they would face certain death. Of the 2,977 people who died that day, over 412 were public safety personnel. And whereas 2.86 million people serve in public safety, meaning 1% protects the other 99% of the 340 million Americans, plus visitors, students, and workers that come to America. There are nearly 60,000 assaults on police officers per year, resulting in over 18,000 injuries, and on average, 163 officers per year are killed in the line of duty. And whereas the most dangerous position in public safety is one of the 1,134,000 firefighters in America who respond to over 34 million calls per year. On average, over 100,000 firefighters are injured each year, and over 100 die in the line of duty. Firefighters, EMS, and police have become our city and nation's first responders, responding to over 25 million 911 emergency calls. And whereas the people of Phenix City are setting aside a week, day, and a Sunday to recognize, honor, and applaud the city's men and women of public safety who risk their lives every day and every night to protect us and keep us safe. And whereas public safety, which encompasses police, fire, EMS, sheriff, marshal, and animal control, respond to over 25,000 calls per year while achieving the highest accreditation by multiple law enforcement and public safety agencies. In light of the recent adverse publicity against people involved in public safety, it is then a good and noble thing to affirm and applaud the men and women serving in public safety across America. Now therefore, I, Eddie N. Lowe, Mayor of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim September the 5th through the 11th, 2021 as Public Safety Week, Sunday, September the 5th as Public Safety Sunday, and Saturday, September the 11th as Public Safety Day in Phenix City, Alabama.
Wayne, you step forward. Wayne Anthony. On behalf of myself as well as the City Council, we certainly thank you for always making sure this is heightened. It is certainly given honor where honor is due. And of all the people, 1% that protect this country is a great example of what this council and what we've always preached is to think of others more than we do ourselves. And so to all the firemen, to all the policemen, EMS, the sheriff, we certainly want to say thanks to them, and thank you for always keeping this on everyone's mind that we need to give honor when honor is due. And we certainly appreciate this, and we just want to thank everyone who was in those capacity of giving of themselves, as we always talk about. Thank you so much. And Mike is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It was my privilege to serve 8 years on City Council in Columbus, and I'm a part of the Twin Cities, and we've been able to do more and more things together and become more and more the envy of the nation in terms of how well we are working together, especially on the riverfront. And I appreciate your efforts and support of all of those efforts. I was involved and still am involved in the National League of Cities. And one of the things we're trying to do is to say thank you to the people involved in public safety. I hope you were listening. You've got 1% of our population, 3 million, that protects the other 99%. And we don't, as a nation, say thank you enough to those who do that. So thank you on behalf of the nation and all of those who are protected by those of you who are involved in public safety in every way. And what we have been working on at a national level, I'm involved in the House of Heroes program. And of course, Phenix City, Columbus, and Fort Benning is where we've done over 1,000 homes here in this area, but we've done 1,300 homes in 18 states across the country. But our goal is to honor people who are in public safety. Been doing it for 22 years. And then we realized that there is not a day, or certainly not a week, set aside to honor people in public safety. We do something in May for police officers, but basically everybody else involved in public safety. And then, Wayne, who all is involved in public safety? Well, police, firefighters, so forth, all the way down to animal control. So you got a wide range of people who are involved in public safety, and we don't do that. So there is a movement, and I'll come back to that in just a minute. There is a movement to establish the week of 9/11, starting with the Sunday and leading up to the Saturday of 9/11, as Public Safety Week, and ask people, city governments, churches, organizations to honor people in public safety in their organizations, in their communities. So I am pleased to say that Phenix City is one of the first 3 cities in the United States. You did it last year and are leading the nation, and people have been looking at what you've done and are doing, and it's going to be emulated across the country. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
We're going to establish the week of 9/11. Nothing else happens that week, and do so to honor all who are involved in public safety. So you were a part of getting it started. So I want to say thank you, and I applaud the council and the people of Phenix City.
Good to see you too. And one of the things that this council and I have always said, the most powerful, greatest thing that anyone can say to a person, particularly when it's done sincerely, is thank you. So we do want to thank you for heightening this, and we also want to thank our people in this community as well as this country who give of themselves. Thank you so much. Proceeding on, at this time, council, on the city clerk, I would like to ask for a motion for the approval of the call meeting minutes for June the 28th, 2021 budget work session meeting minutes, as well as June 22nd, 2021 budget hearing meeting minutes. And since we were all here, I would ask that we take this in one vote. So with that being said, I'd like to call for a motion for the approval of our call work session on June the 28th, as well as our meeting on July the 22nd. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gordon. Okay, Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And also proceeding on, council, on the city clerk, is an approval of the regular scheduled meeting minutes for the August 2nd work session, as well as August 3rd council meeting. So since we were all at that meeting, I would like to ask that we take one vote at the privilege of this council. And with that said, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the August 2nd work session, as well as August 3rd council meeting. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Bailey. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Johnson. Okay, Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And now proceeding council. On the city council, are there any unfinished business at this time, council? Okay, there's not being any, we will continue to proceed on with the resolutions. And on the resolutions is the administration. The first resolution is a resolution in reference to approving and adopting the proposal budget for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Whereas Resolution Number 2021-127 approved a public notice which was published in the Citizen News of East Alabama newspaper on Thursday, July the 15th, 2021, in reference to a public hearing on the 2021-2022 proposed budget for the general fund and the utilities fund. And whereas the public hearing was held on July the 22nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Martin Island Park Community Center, located at 3743 Moon Lake Drive, Phenix City, Alabama, on the 2021-2022 proposed budget for the general fund and the utilities budget. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that the 2021-2022 budget for the general fund and the utilities fund is approved as proposed. A summary of the 2021-2022 proposed budget is hereby attached and made a part of this resolution. Passed, approved, and adopted this 17th day of August, 2021.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee.
Yes.
Council, we have all heard the reading of the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Gordon. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Johnson, since it's her birthday off. We have the motion and the second. Any comments, questions? Discussion, council? Okay, if not, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is everyone comfortable in here? Is it a little warm? Huh? Okay, well, You come last, everybody else else
It's almost my
out there, okay?
I'd like to say something on the budget.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Hunter,
Can't believe y'all.
in reference to the budget,
I just can't believe y'all say that on that budget.
go ahead.
I gotta laugh about that. You know, I mean, I want to thank all the department heads for working so diligently on this budget that we put together during these trying times. And it's going to be a lot that we have to take a look at. And I want to really thank the council, by y'all not saying something, is real support also, that y'all believe in what we done. And I thank you all for that.
Well, we
You know I have to
appreciate
choke
you.
you sometimes about things like that.
Yeah, you have to get it in when you can get it
Yeah,
in.
I gotta get it when I can. But thank y'all very much. You know, that makes us feel real good about y'all trust us and what we're doing. You know, so it works good and fine as a team. Thank you all.
Well, I will say we do appreciate the conservative approach because our budget has been decreased from year over year by 6%. We know the environment that we're in, so we certainly appreciate that, and we do trust you all. And we've always said that, you know, if you don't get out of people's way when they're doing their job, if you don't trust them, get rid of them and get somebody who you do trust and get out of their way. So we certainly appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And I want to make sure, so when people are viewing this and taking a look at that, it's not decreased because revenue went down. It's
Conservative.
decreased because we're being conservative and making sure that we weather this pandemic and making sure we take care of all our personnel and the city's taken care of.
Exactly. Okay, any other comments, discussion?
I think the budget and your
Excuse me.
team,
Hey,
the budget team did a fantastic job. From what I heard and I was very impressed. When I saw in times like these, you know, we realized that COVID-19 played a detrimental part of this year of 2020. But being said, blessed to have a team such as you and the team out there did a fantastic job. And at the bottom line, the mayor always say, there was no money stolen.
Got to run it like a business. All right, Mrs. Lee?
I think we've already
Yeah,
got.
yeah, but you saying anything else? You? Okay, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right, proceeding on, council, on the administration on the resolution, is a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing Alabama Power to install 8 black aluminum poles and 8 65 watts colonial LED fixtures in Ivy Creek subdivision. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that the city will authorize Alabama Power to install the following street lights and pay the monthly electric service to Alabama Power for the street lights as follows. Install 8 black aluminum poles and 8 65-watt colonial LED fixtures in Ivy Creek subdivision, 5501-7800 lumens, 4000 K. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August, 2021.
Okay. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve that resolution. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Day. Comments or discussion? Okay. Not, Mrs. Lee?
Yes. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, council, is a resolution in reference to adopting an annual transportation plan. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Whereas the 2019 Alabama Legislature has passed Act 2019-2, which levied an additional excise tax on gasoline and diesel fuel. And whereas the City of Phenix City will receive a portion of said tax, which will be deposited into a separate fund. And whereas these funds will be solely dedicated to the maintenance, improvement, replacement, and construction of roads as mandated by Act 2019-2. And whereas the city will adopt an annual transportation plan no later than August the 31st, 2021, and will implement during the next fiscal year based on an estimate of revenues. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama intends to utilize funding from Act 2019-2 for preliminary engineering and construction activities associated with the resurfacing of 4th Place from Knowles Road to Seal Road, Knowles Road from 16th Avenue to 4th Place, 43rd Street from Somerville Road to the end, and the replacement of the bridge over Cofalici Creek on Seal Road. The city's total estimated obligation for preliminary engineering and construction for these projects is $422,005.55, of which 10-cent gas tax funds will be utilized, with the remaining balance be carried forward or used for cost overruns. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August 2021.
Okay, thank you for the reading of the resolution. Mrs. Lee, council, we have heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion for approval. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mrs. Johnson. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gordon. Comments or discussion? Okay, not call for the vote. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also proceeding on the administration, we have a resolution in reference to approving a proposed settlement agreement regarding a claim filed by State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance Company as ASO Latanya Miller versus Officer Donna Ross and the City of Phoenix City in the amount of $960. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby accept and approve of the proposed settlement regarding the claim filed by State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance Company, ASO Latanya Miller versus Officer Donald Ross in the City of Phoenix City, Alabama in the amount of $960, and does further authorize payment thereof. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August 2021.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir.
Council, we've heard the resolution. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we do have a motion by Mr. Gordy. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Day. Comments or discussion, please? Okay, there's not any. Call for the vote. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Also proceeding on, council, we have a resolution in reference to approving the final settlement in the matter of Catarang Properties, LLC versus the City of Phoenix City, case number 57-CV-2017-900176.00 in an amount of $10,000. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby accept and approve of the final settlement in the matter of a lawsuit filed by Catarang Properties, LLC versus the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, case number 57-CV-2017-900176.00 in the amount of $10,000, and does further authorize payment thereof. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August 2021.
Okay, thank you so much. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve. May I have a
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Day. May I have a second, council?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gordon. Comments or discussion? Okay. There's not any. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now, council, proceeding on the building department. We have a resolution in reference to rejecting bids for demolition of structure and removal of debris from property located at 2009th Avenue. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Whereas resolution number 2021-148 declared the property located at 2009th Avenue a public nuisance and authorized action to be taken to remove said unsafe structure. And whereas sealed bids were received and opened for the demolition of the structure located at 2009th Avenue. And whereas the property owner has demolished and removed the structure prior to the award of any bids. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that all bids received for the demolition of structure located at 2009th Avenue are hereby rejected. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August 2021.
Okay. Council, you've heard the reading of this resolution. I'd like to ask for a motion for approval. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion by Mrs. Johnson. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bailey. Council, are there any comments or discussion? All right, if not, Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And now, council, proceeding on the Engineer and Public Works Department. The first resolution is a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and the city manager to enter into an agreement with Burgess Masonry to repair burial plots in Big Pine Grove Cemetery in an amount not to exceed $39,733. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Whereas the City of Phenix City wishes to continue with its ongoing cemetery repair plan, and whereas the city has completed 2 phases of cemetery wall and coping repair, and now is time to begin Phase 3 within Big Pine Grove Cemetery, which is in the most need of repairs of all the city's cemeteries. And whereas the City Cemetery Division solicited and received 2 quotes for the above described work, with Burgess Master Masonry providing the lowest responsible quote in the amount of $39,733. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama authorizes the mayor and city manager to enter into an agreement with Burgess Master Masonry for the above reference repairs in an amount not to exceed $39,733. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August 2021.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Lee. Need a drink of water?
I'm right.
You okay? Okay. Council, we've heard the resolution. This time I'd like to ask for a motion for approval. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion by Mr. Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gordon. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments or discussion? Okay, Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And council proceeding on the finance department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and the city manager to sign a lease purchase agreement and accept a proposal from Branch Banking and Trust Company, now Truist Bank, to purchase equipment for the Engineer and Public Works Department in an amount of $544,199.44. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Whereas the City of Phenix City, Alabama wishes to enter into a lease purchase agreement for capital purchases required in the Engineering Public Works Department for the following equipment: a 2021 International Service Truck, $73,562.26. Caterpillar 420 cab backhoe, $108,440.80. 926M wheel front end loader, $211,103.73. Caterpillar D cab dozer, $151,092.65, for a total of $544,199.44. And whereas Branch Bank and Trust Company, now Truist Bank, presented a proposal of 1.34% interest for a 5-year lease purchase term. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama hereby authorizes the mayor and city manager to sign a lease agreement and accept a proposal from Branch Banking and Trust Company, now Truist Bank, to finance the engineering public works equipment at an interest rate of 1.34%. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August 2021.
Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion for approval. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion, Mr. Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bailey. Any comments or discussion, council?
I guess I may have asked this question in the past, like the Caterpillar, the Dozer, and these require post operator special license.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
I was just wondering, just anybody that they
No, sir. No, you gotta be trained on it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Better know how to handle it.
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah, they put them through a lot of testing, make sure they can do that, even when people come here, that has done this before, somebody else have to go through the test for the city, go to the public works. or whether they're using it in utilities also, whichever work we have to have done.
Yes, sir. What's the average life expectancy of one of these units? I know it depends what division it goes to, but sometimes we swap them and give them to another division, but what do we usually get, maybe 10 years out of them, 15?
We try to do a lot of preventive maintenance on it, and we can usually get 15 to 20 years. The
Good.
service truck may be a little less, but like the actual equipment, the backhoe, the loader, and the dozer, we can 15 to 20 years.
Good. All right.
And one good thing about it, we have a program in place, you can use it in any department, the park, recreation, public works, whatever you need it, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, we work with other departments. I mean, depending on what's got to be done, you know, Public Works may actually come and do a project for, like, with Parks and Rec, or we may lend them the equipment. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or discussion? Thank you, Mrs. Moore. If not, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And now, council, proceeding on the police department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor, city manager, and chief of police to enter into an agreement with Motorola Solutions in the amount of $18,375 for annual preventative maintenance. Mrs. Lee.
Whereas the city of Phenix City desires to enter into an agreement with Motorola Solutions for annual preventative maintenance for the police department. And whereas the city council has reviewed said agreement submitted by Motorola Solutions for an annual fee for a total payment of $18,375. And whereas the city council finds the agreement to be a necessity for the day-to-day operations of city business. Now therefore be it resolved that the city council of the city of Phenix City, Alabama hereby authorizes the mayor, city manager, and police chief to sign such agreement with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for annual preventative maintenance in an amount not to exceed $18,375. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August, 2021.
Okay. Council, we've heard the resolution. I'd like to ask for a motion for approval. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Gordon. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Johnson. Council, are there any comments or discussion?
Yes, sir. I'd like to ask this question. I know that we have a tower out there, but what other agencies use that tower? I know the police department, the sheriff department, through Russell County, also public work use that.
Yes, this is the city's standalone radio system. The first one that you read there is the equipment cost that we maintain, the subscriber units, the walkie-talkies, and the mobile units. The next one you'll have is actually for the towers. And what that system does is it enables communication amongst all public safety, police, fire, EMS, as well as with the sheriff's department. And then the city also uses it for public works, parks and rec. So any communication requirement that's needed, that's how the city uses this. And this contract that we negotiate every year, it's a year-to-year contract. We, as we add or delete equipment, that's why the cost typically changes from year to year, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But that part of that cost is spread out on all the subscribers, including the ones that are used by the county. So each agency pays a little bit toward that fee. We pay the fee as a city, and then we'll bill the county or other agencies that may use it. EMA, for example, has a handful of radios they use as well. And then we bill them a percentage of that to cover the entire cost of the system.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. Any other comments, discussion? Not at this time, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, council, proceeding on the police department is a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor, city manager, and chief of police to enter into an agreement with Motorola Solutions in the amount of $114,622.45. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Whereas the city of Phenix City desires to enter into an agreement with Motorola Solutions for radio network maintenance for the police department. And whereas the city council has reviewed said agreement submitted by Motorola Solutions for an annual fee for a total payment of $114,622.45. And whereas the city council finds the agreement to be a necessity for the day-to-day operations of city business. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama hereby authorizes and directs the mayor, city manager, and police chief to sign such agreement with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for radio network maintenance in an amount not to exceed $114,622.45. Now, passed, approved, and adopted this 17th day of August 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Council, we've heard the resolution. It's time I'd like to ask for a motion to approve. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion by Mrs. Johnson. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gordon. Okay. Have a motion and second. Council, any comments or discussion? All right, if not, Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordon?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now proceeding on, council, on the ordinance. We have a public notice in first reading. It's a letter of request from Planning Commission, public notice and ordinance to rezone 0.67 acre tract of land located at 4104 Somerville Road from an R1 zone to a C3 zone. Johnny F. Burrow, the owner. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. The letters from the Planning Commission to mayor and city council members regarding the rezone 0.67 plus or minus acres at 4104 Somerville Road, Johnny F. Burrell, owner. The Planning Commission of the City of Phoenix City met on Tuesday, August the 10th, 2021, to consider the request of Johnny F. Burrell, owner for 0.67 plus or minus acres located at 4104 Somerville Road, to be rezoned from an R1 zone, low-density residential district, to a C3 zone, neighborhood commercial district. A motion was made to deny this rezone, but failed due to the lack of a second to the motion. Another motion was made to approve the rezone, and the votes were as follows: 3 yeas and 5 nays. Therefore, this motion was lost. And it's signed by Pat Howard, Chairman, and Eliza Phillips, Secretary. The public notice and the ordinance read as follows. Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, in response to a request made by the Planning Commission of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, will meet on the 21st day of September, 2021 at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Martin Ida Lauer Park Community Center, located at 3743 Moonlight Drive, Phoenix City, Alabama, to consider the following amendment to the zoning ordinance of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama. An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City. Section 1, that the zoning ordinance of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, adopted on the 17th day of September 2002, be amended so that the following tract of land be located in a C3 zone, neighborhood commercial district, instead of an R1 zone, low-density residential district. Property is located at 4104 Somerville Road, Johnny F. Burrell, owner. The legal description followed. At said meeting, all persons desiring to be heard concerning the rezoning of the above described property may appear before the council at aforementioned time and place to be heard. Passed, approved, and adopted the 17th day of August 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Did you drink of water?
Yes, sir.
Council, we have heard the public notice. We've heard the public notice. We've heard the first reading. And at this time, council, I would like to ask that we take all this in one vote, that I ask for a motion to approve the public notice to place on first reading, as well as to accept this letter. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion, Mr. Day, and that's a second, Mr. Ward. Okay, we have the motion and the second. Okay. Comments or discussion?
May I make just a brief comment around the ordinance and around the request to have this area rezoned to a C3. As has been stated already, there has been a lot of discussion, a lot of people that will be impacted if it is approved. But the main thing that I would say, we got some tough choices to make, and I've been elected
on this council to do that, as well as my counterparts, and also serve on the Planning Commission board. And it's been a tough decision, but nevertheless, I see Ms. Sherry is with us, the young lady that is proposing to do business in that area. And it shows, to me, it shows, again, like I say, concern and interest, and just a lot of people will be affected either way it goes. But it is going to be, my comment is, it's going to be a tough decision to make. And we make tough decisions, and I signed up for this, as well as my counterparts signed up to do the business of Phenix City. And I just want to say it is going to be a tough decision to make. And to all the citizens that are in Phenix City and those that will be directly affected either way, just know that, again, a decision has to be made, and it is going to be a tough one. But I thank, everyone for, just residing in Phenix City, one of the best cities I've said for many years to live in, to play, to work in. And so just stay with us as we go through this process. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Thank you to the council and especially Mr. Day to allow this to change from 5th Avenue South down that to the Martin I. Lowell Community Center here for that particular meeting, since this is going to be an issue that is concerning District 1. Most of the people that will be here, I feel like, will be coming out of District 1. Some of them will be coming from home, some will be coming from work, because it will be a 6 o'clock in the evening meeting. So I do appreciate the rest of the council, and especially Mr. Day, because I know how important it is to each one of us to have these nighttime meetings in our own district for our own people that live in our district. But thank you, everyone on the council, for allowing it to be here for that particular reason. I do thank y'all.
And I see here the time and place, but I'm sure we're going to make that change. But I'm sure of that.
And just let me echo this, council, if you all don't mind. We had an order yesterday from the governor that because of the rise in this environment, that we go back to Zoom. However, what this council has done is made a conscientious decision that the month of September, we will hold those meetings openly, like we're doing now. And one of the reasons is because we know that we wanted to give people the opportunity to come and to be able to attend that meeting that is scheduled for the 21st. And as Mr. Bailey stated, we do thank Mr. Day because the meeting is supposed to have been in his district, which we move around every quarter in each district. But we do appreciate that. But again, I hope that it is seen, and I hope that it's shown that we are a worthy council, that we do believe in trying to do the right thing and to be transparent. And so to me, as I stated yesterday, it gives, from my perspective, which I know in my mind is very dangerous, is an opportunity for us to show our worthiness of doing things the correct way. And we also could have changed the meeting to 9 o'clock. However, being sensitive, this council of people working, so it was a conscious decision that the meeting be held in person and that it remains at 6 o'clock. So again, I want to thank this council, and with that said, at this time, we've heard the public notice, the first reading, and to place this ordinance. So I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. And proceeding on the ordinance, we do have a public hearing and a second reading. With that said, I would now, at this time, council, like to declare this as a public hearing. And if there's anyone that would like to come and address this council in reference for this rezoning from an R2 to a C3, now is the time to do so. If there's anyone that would love to come and address the council. Since there is no one stepping forward, I am now declaring this public hearing closed. And at this time, I will call on our clerk, Mrs. Lee.
Okay. I can read it again.
Well, no, I'm sorry. We've had the first reading on the 22nd, thank you so much, of July, so I will not ask the clerk to reread this. So with that, I will ask for the council vote. Motion to approve. May I have a motion to approve this public hearing and second reading?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Mr. Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bailey. We have the motion and the second, and thank you for reminding me, Mrs. Lee and Mr. Gordy. With that said, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, on the licensed application, and I do want to declare that if I mispronounce this name, please forgive me, in this organization. It's a licensed application. It's the application of an off-premise beer license and off-premise wine license submitted by Mayata Patel of Kamalat. John, did I get that right? You corrected me yesterday, I appreciate that. Kamalat LLC, doing business as Heat Cheap Food Store located at 612 Fontaine Road, Phenix City, Alabama. The first reading was on the 3rd of this month. We'll not ask the clerk to reread it, but we'll ask the council for a motion and a second to approve. May I have a motion to approve, council?
Motion to approve.
Motion, Mr. Johnson, and that's the second, Mr. Gordon. Okay. Mrs. Lee.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
At this time, we'd like to call on our city attorney, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have two claims on the agenda today. The first one is filed by Ricky Lowman, who lives at 700 22nd Avenue, J3, Phenix City, Alabama. His claim is that he was driving on 15th Street, that he hit a pothole that damaged his tire and rim. He submitted 3 estimates as required. However, this type of situation, the city has to have notice under Alabama law that the pothole was there. We did not have notice, and based on that, I recommend we deny this claim.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Council, we've heard the recommendation from our attorney. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve this recommendation. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion, Mr. Gordon. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Day. Okay, Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
The second claim is filed by Embark General Insurance, ASO Brenda Faye Bailey. This is a subrogation claim where they paid for her vehicle. You've got the paperwork, you've got the memorandum from the chief of police, you've got the accident report. Based on the city's investigation of this accident, it was Ms. Bailey's fault. However, the insurance company seems to think it was our fault, but they didn't produce any investigative notes or any evidence that we were at fault. Therefore, I recommend we deny this claim.
Okay. Council, we've heard our recommendation from our attorney. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve that recommendation. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion, Mr. Bailey, second, Mr. Gordon. You have that, Mrs. Lee? We have the motion and second. At this time, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Lee?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Gordy?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Thank you, council. Thank all our department head and all our employees of Phenix City for giving up themselves, and we just want to thank the community. So with that said, council, if anyone has anything they would like to say?
just want to say on the lines of what was stated earlier about the first responders and all, coming up on a very memorable time in our nation 20 years ago. The world as we know it changed forever. What's going on in Afghanistan right now changed back to what went on in Vietnam. We seem to take on the world's problems, trying to solve all the world's problems, and we got enough problems right here in our own community, our own homes, our own cities, state, and nation. Can't solve all of them, but we can try to solve. We can be better people, learn from our mistakes, and learn from past things. But let's thank goodness every morning, every evening, when we go to bed, every morning when we get up, that we have people that watch over us all around this world. Our own communities right here with firemen, police, sheriffs, EMSs, animal control, everybody. And then we got people in the armed forces around this country and around this world that watch out for us. And then we've got neighbors that watch out for us. But we live in a country that we love each other, we care about each other, and all of us are part of somebody else. We all touch somebody else's life in our lifetime. None of us live by ourselves, none of us can live by ourselves, none of us were designed to live by ourselves. But just reflect on how lucky we are to live in this type of country, because what's happening in Afghanistan, somebody moves out, somebody else all of a sudden changes life totally. We have changes in this country, but we've never had those type of changes to where we're all trying to leave the country, we're all trying to get on an airplane, we don't know where tomorrow holds, we can't go back home, and we're going to be persecuted, possibly killed, and everything because of what we believe in. We all can agree that, as the mayor says a lot, we can agree that we're going to disagree. But we also can stand up for each other that we have the right to disagree. And I personally, for one, am thankful that we live in a country that we can do that. And that I don't have to look over my shoulder and worry about somebody chasing me down because I'm different, or I look different, or act different, or even I talk different. Thank goodness that we are different. It'd be so boring if we were the same. It really would be. As good looking as I am and as nice as I am, I'd hate to see everybody look like me. It'd be terrible. It really would be. It'd be terrible. I'd be the first to leave the country.
You say you got a birthday coming.
I'd be the first to leave. But on a serious thing, keep in mind what our nation went through 20 years ago. And hopefully we'll never repeat that again. And that we've got good people in the right positions to keep us safe from harm's way. And every time you get a chance to thank them, say a little prayer for them, and do thank them. Tell them that you wish them well, and be careful, and watch out for them. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Anyone else?
I have just a short comment. Still laughing on the inside what Councilmember Bailey said. But I concur with what he said, but I do believe our most fundamental duty is to help keep the people that we serve safe and healthy. And like he was saying, there's just so much going on. And right here in our community, we want to just remind our citizens to be vigilant of their surroundings. You know, just looking at the news report with Haiti and Kabul, like he said, it's just so much that is going on. And I just thank God that we're here, and he has allowed us and positioned us to serve our community. And I want to thank the citizens of Phenix City once again to allow me to serve District 2. And, just kind of knowing, got up this morning, rain, and I had a couple of umbrellas overturned on somebody else's property this morning. But thank God my house didn't overturn, and thank God, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, with the windstorm and the storm that we had. Because I know the people in Haiti and Kabul and other places, even within the United States, is suffering much more than I am. So, but to our citizens, thank you for residing in the great city of Phenix City. And I just ask for you to, just be vigilant about your surroundings and love one another as God has loved us. Thank you, Mayor, for the point of privilege, acknowledging my birthday. I really appreciate that. I tell you, it was hard being 21 all them years. I'm finally 22 now, so yeah, so I had to let 21 go. And but it has been a blessing. And again, thank you so much. And thank you to the ladies. They surprised me with a nice card and a token of our love over here. And I just want to read it real quick. Say, God has made some wonderful things, birds and bees and butterflies and wings, springtime showers, flowers too, and special people just like you. So thank you all so much, Ms. Hunt. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I will say, Mrs. Johnson, when I told Riff and Steve earlier about their age, none of us up here again will see a 21 or a 22 unless a 1 is in front of it, and that's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely.
I decided to turn the
I
corner.
ain't want to see one.
Anyone
in front of it.
Well, Mayor, I wasn't gonna say anything, but
I don't believe that.
I was sitting here, listening to what is being said. I have already concurred with what is being said, what has already been said. And that is so true. We live in the greatest country in the world. And as I said on yesterday in my prayers, all about love. You know, Jesus set the example for all of us to follow and all about love. Given the opportunity to speak about, I'm not going to preach speaking about love, standing anywhere, offering a prayer. I'm even willing to do that. I said it in Sunday school on this past Sunday. Because I realize that if we love one another, there wouldn't be no room for anything else. This is what we got to do, because we can say all we want to say. We on our way to heaven anyhow, but that's not true. There's a process we must follow as well. And back to the public safety people here in Phenix City, workers here in Phenix City, my hat's off to all of you all. As I meet an officer, I try to be careful. Because there's, things and names out there, be careful. And this is something we got to do. We got to pray for our public safety folks, personnel. We realize this: if we pray, that's God to help us. God got all power. He can protect your family, my family, everybody. This is what we got to do. Remember, the scripture said, "First seek the kingdom of heaven, all the other things be added unto you." But I realize that sometimes I get it backwards. I seek the worldly thing and think about Jesus later. Now, why I say stuff like that? Because I'm human. That's the human side of me. As I had an incident happen to me last week, and I was so upset. But I realized this right here. These are just things that God allowed me to use, or allow you to use. As this scripture tells us, we came into this world naked, and we're going to leave out this world naked. As my pastor would say, I never seen a truck or anything behind a session going into the grave. God been good to all of us. At the age of, I shouldn't say this, at the age of 75 and a half, I thank God every day. At the age of 75 and a half, I'm able to move around, I'm able to do things for myself and help other folks. And that is a blessing. As I said this in Sunday school, as I look at the paper, as I look at what happened, and I'm still here. And it's not that I've been so faithful. It's not that I've been so righteous, but if God, everlasting mercy and grace, be it my goal on a few days longer. I'm just thankful for that. And I give God credit. I'm sorry. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Day. Mr. Warner, anything? I do want to say this, that before I call upon the city manager, is that you all can see we do play hard, but we work very hard also. So that's a culture which is keep us wholesome, so we can cut up with each other. And we're thankful for that. Mr. Hunter, anything?
No, just saying, like I say, I'm just full of thanks for everything that's happening and we're working together. And Mr. Day, I like to have fun with Mr. Day a lot. That real good police department don't miss that. They investigate real good. And as we spoke earlier, former council member spoke on earlier, I would work together as a tri-city. And we went from tri to bi to region and the whole works. And so many others that's been in this business a long time that know each other. The incident that Mr. Day talked about how it unfolded was a call from Columbus to one of our barbershops.
Yeah, tell them what happened though.
Mail Long Barbershop.
Tell them what happened.
I didn't want to tell all that here.
No, just real brief.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't bad.
Tell it all.
He had a stolen vehicle and a stolen vehicle, so it's
How was it stolen? Keys left in the car.
Tell that too.
Yeah, tell it all.
There's one thing his keys out of the vehicles for that in the world. He still think he lived in 1945 sometimes. But so anyway, when it happened, what I loved about it was that I got when police chief went to work on it, and his crew, I got a call from Mel Long at barbershop from south end of town, and he was calling me. He was excited. He said, "See the state. We just got a call from Columbus. Somebody has this telephone." I said, "Well, I'm worried about the truck." I said, "Where is it at?" So they said, "We're working on that." So as they was working with people from Columbus and making phone calls and knowing who to call, everything just unfolded real good. And the system that I love, and with the chief working on a lot, our camera system throughout the city, and they start looking, and they was looking at the detectives were doing their thing, and they supposed to, and they start pinging, and we start noticing the truck. We have systems in this city that people don't even realize we have, you know, and they work real well with it. If there's certain tags that you can put in, and if it goes past certain markers or it sends out notifications. And that's how we was able to track everything down, and they was able to recover the truck, and I think it surprised Mr. Day a whole lot, you know. And like I told Mr. Day, I said, "Mr. Day, you still living, you got an excellent life, you pay your insurance." I said, "We got people that don't do what they should do." I said, "But we're rather have you around. Please don't get upset to a point of something that's materialistic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we'd much rather have you. I like having fun with it, brother, talking with it, and a good person." So everything as it unfolded, the police department did its job.
Thank you,
The citizens did their job. It was just a collaborative thing where it just really worked out, and we was able to recover a lot of different things. So now I just got to talk to him to get another ride lawnmower because he's trying to push one other day.
And don't leave your keys in your car.
So yeah, that's going to be tough too there. So.
Don't leave the lawnmower.
Don't leave the keys in the car. You can leave the lawnmower,
But he did.
I just want my ride lawnmower.
We're going to get it back. We're going to get that part back too. All of it's going back.
But on a serious note, though, I really think all those that was involved, Chief, I really do. At least I got the truck back in one piece. I was expecting it to be stripped down. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I thank God I got it back in one piece.
They went to work on it just like they do a lot of people that we talk to, and people get surprised throughout the city. And like I said, public safety don't a lot of times they don't get the credit. And the way I was trained in public safety, you don't look for it. I'm from the old school, so you look at, I'm not worried about any pats on the back. And when I was thinking about that, as the gentleman was speaking and talking, and I look at a police chief, and look at a fire chief, but they've been around, and for some reason, I guess when they came in, I still look at them as kids sometimes. I catch myself looking at those young people that started this job and where they moved and evolved to. And it was a responsibility that we carried during that time to see about one another. But when you talk about a city, as he said, it's animal control. And a lot of people understand utilities, public works, all of us are involved. A lot of people, when they get retired here, have to be introduced to that, because even during this pandemic, a lot of people have to realize, they say, well, it's a lot of work. We're calling on us to do a lot of things, and we have to make people understand, you're public safety. If you work for the city in any capacity, you're a part of public safety, but you're definitely deeper into it as the responding people that have to respond 24/7 in the calls. I said I wasn't going to speak too much about it because, to a certain point at my age, I'll be 62 next year. At the age of 6,
next month, not next year.
Next
No,
month.
not next year. Next month.
You got me. I said, I'm going to bring that up. We're 4 months apart.
He gonna start leaving the keys in
and thinking about it, 20 years ago, when the incident happened, I was fire chief. And that was a tough day as we seen that situation unfold and watching, the secretary at that time called me to the office. I was doing some work and we started looking. It was just unbelievable in what we was watching. And it's unbelievable that was 20 years ago already. It was such a tragic thing. And then you think about the blessing, how many situations we've been into. And then I really have to think as a person that's real blessed, that it was something I wanted to be as a kid. I went through that whole career as a firefighter, from the bottom to the top. And I was blessed. And it was but what happened, there was so many good people that helped me and helped the whole situation leading up to that point, and the training that I received in Phenix City and Columbus and Fort Benning and Fire College and Old Worth, all these things that unfolded to lead to me even being able to make this speech or talk about was from God putting people in places to help us get there. And you have to ask yourself the key question that I have to ask myself personally with all the tragedies, which what Ms. Johnson talked about this morning, Haiti and all these other places, is why am I still here? You know, I have to ask myself that a lot because it could be something that would be totally different. There's a lot of people, good people that I've known throughout this profession and this world and all the training that we've been through and it's passed on. And you have to thank God and you have to get out here, and sometimes it's tough. The decisions we make are tough and you hate and you don't want people to take it personal, you know, but it is personal to a certain degree, but you pray for understanding of what position that we're in and doing the jobs and trying to take care of people. And I've had a reputation that I know I carry. I will fight a person about their self. Sometimes you can see people making detrimental moves that would ruin their career, and you have to basically do things sometimes that they won't understand until later. And you have to pray to survive that to when they receive that understanding. And that's what God has done for myself and done for a lot of people around me for a long time. And I think even now in this budget that's very important that we just passed, we always look for, you know, you always want a balanced budget. And we've been fortunate again. My whole career has been city manager and having a balanced budget and trying to make sure we can master the things that we've done in the city. It's always, every day you're striving for perfection to try to get there. You've got to be. If you're not, something is wrong. But looking at the team that we put together in this budget, the additional things that we are doing to add, that we are still growing. We just finished with the census. I'll be honest with you, I don't trust the numbers, and the reason why I don't, because we had to finish that census during a pandemic. So we are looking, and the estimated numbers that we looked at, that we've saying just grew, in which is good growth, right at 13%. But at the same time, I think it's more. And we will, but the only thing about it, we gotta go through the next 10 years before that counts. And everything in between is a estimate and guessing. That's what that is, and going through. So it's important, and it's important to me for our citizens to understand what we do every day. It makes it so much easier if you can get people involved and have an understanding in the things that seem so complex to people. Once they know, that's good, but having a planner added into this budget, public safety director, these are things that were a goal that I looked at, because I gotta understand something. I'm phasing out. It's going towards the 40-year mark. So you gotta look at what you wanna build and what you wanna leave as a legacy of the people that I was a part of working with and serving with. But to have the recognition, I really want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Wayne.
Public safety and the people that's going forward, because we're training different type of people, and we have to go back in and look at how we retrain our workforce, how involved, how deeper we have to get into the school system to train people. It's totally different. And you look and you think about the things that we've done as youth, the jobs that was out there, how we learned to make money. Well, it was taking bottles to get 2 cents or 5 cents off those bottles, or vacuuming floors for older people and doing things. We got to look at how we retool things in our society and how kids and the opportunity that we can give them to work with mentors to rebuild our community and our society. We know where we're at right now, and we know the situation that we are in. It's what we're going to do about it for the future. And that's the key to it. So I appreciate you giving me a chance to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all too. I know this is kind of oxymoronic, but I will say this: at the end of the day, folks, it's all about people. At the end of the day. So we certainly thank you all for being here. We thank the department head. I certainly thank this council so very, very much. Love you all, pray for you all, and let's keep doing the right thing. I want to thank everyone in this community for trusting in us and believing in us. And we certainly don't take it for granted, and we certainly like to thank TV Bean for bringing this to our people in our community. Thank you all so much. We do stand adjourned, and you all have a great rest of today. Thank you.